Hello everyone, this is Monica Lakoju. Welcome to the channel The UPSC Mascot. In our Indian economy series, in the previous session, we have discussed about what is inclusive growth, what are the challenges we are facing in achieving inclusive growth, and whether India is experiencing it or not. So, in this session, we are going to deal with the recent government initiatives for inclusive growth and way forward for it. Okay, so before starting this session, I will give you a question. Please try to answer and post it in the comment section. What is the strategy of Niti Aayog? What are the objectives for inclusive growth for New India? This is the question for you guys. So please write your answer in your own words and post it in the comment section. We all know that Institute of Planning Commission, Niti Aayog has been established. So you have to write down the strategy and objectives of Niti Aayog in achieving inclusive growth in India. Okay, let's start our session. There are the various government initiatives has been implemented regarding the 5 perspectives. So what are the 5 perspectives in inclusive growth? One is the accelerated and inclusive growth. And the second perspective is the human development. The third perspective is the sustainable development. Fourth one is the equity, security and resilience. And the fifth one is the honesty, transparency and accountability. Remember one thing, there is no need to write about each and every scheme. Just put the schemes in their relevant perspective so that your examiner will know the understanding levels of this particular topic. Okay, so the lecture notes of this session will be available in the PDF format. So if you want this lecture notes, please contact me in Instagram, the UPSC Mascot. So there you will all the lecture notes will be available for you. Okay, let's start that. So there are the various schemes relating to the perspective of the accelerated and inclusive growth. So some of the agriculture schemes like the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, E-NAM, Fasal Bima, food parks. So, and after that the Make in India, Udaan, Sagarmala, Startup India, Digital India, Smart Cities and Mudra. So let me briefly explain you each and every scheme relating to this perspective. The first of all, in agriculture schemes, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. So what is it? It is a national mission to improve the farm productivity and ensure the better utilization of the resources in the country. So what is the primary objective of this Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana? It is to attract investments in irrigation system at field level, develop and expand the cultivable land, enhance the ranch water use in order to minimize the wastage of water, and we have to enhance the crop per drop, okay, by implementing the water saving technologies and precision irrigation. So this is briefly about the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. And next one is the E-NAM, National Agriculture Market. So it is an online trading for the agriculture commodities in India. So this market facilitates the farmers, traders and buyers for agricultural commodities, online trading of agricultural commodities. So on the E-NAM platform, the farmers can opt to trade, okay, directly on their own through mobile app or through registered commission agents. Okay, and next one is the Fasal Bima. The Fasal Bima is the insurance service for the farmers for their yields. So this scheme has formulated in line with One Nation, One Scheme theme. That means it replaces the earlier 2 schemes. One is the National Agriculture Insurance Scheme and Modified National Agricultural Insurance Scheme. It replaces these 2 schemes, that Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. And next one is the food parks. So mega food parks is under the Ministry of the Food Processing. These food parks has been aimed to establish a direct linkage from farm to processing and then to consumer markets. Okay, so these are some agriculture schemes: Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, E-NAM, Fasal Bima and mega food parks. When coming to the Make in India campaign, campaign. We all know that the Make in India comes under the Ministry of the Commerce and Industry. So what does Make in India will do? It encourages the companies in manufacturing their products in India and incentivize with the investments in manufacturing. So there are three objectives in Make in India campaign. What are those three objectives? Okay, so the first of all, to increase the manufacturing sector's growth rate to 12 to 14% per annum. Okay, this is the first objective. And to create the 100 million job opportunities in the economy by 2022. And to ensure that the manufacturing sector's contribution to the GDP is increased to 25% by 2022. Those are the three main objectives relating to the Make in India campaign. Okay, and next is the UDAN. Ude Desh Ka Naam Agare. This comes under the Ministry of Civil Aviation. So to develop the new airports and to increase the regional airports and to enhance the operational airports for scheduled civilian flights. This comes under the Ministry of Civil Aviation. And the Sagarmala, which is a port-led prosperity, that means it comes under the Ministry of Shipping. What this Sagarmala project is about? It is an initiative by the Government of India to enhance the performance of the country's logistics sector. And this program unlocked the potential of the waterways and the coastline to minimize the infrastructural investments required to meet targets. And then Startup India. So we all know that the Startup India is also concerned the Ministry of the Commerce and Industry. So it focuses on three areas. One is the simplification, hand-holding, funding support and incentives, industry academia partnership and incubation. And next is the Digital India, which comes under the Ministry of the Electronics and Information Technology. BharatNet project is the custodian of the Digital India project. And some of the facilities which are provided through this Digital India initiative are the BharatNet project, Digital Locker, e-education, e-health, e-sign, e-shopping and national scholarship portals. As per the Indian government, as per the Digital India, Indian government has planned to launch BOTNet coaching centers. Okay, and then the smart cities, which comes under the Ministry of Urban Development. So the mission is to develop the smart cities across the countries, and the mission initially included the 100 cities with the deadline for the completion of projects set between 2019 and 2023. And next, Mudra means Micro Units Development and Refinance Agency, bank. It provides loans at low rates to microfinance institutions, that means MFIs, and non-banking financial companies, which then provide credit to MSMEs, micro, small and medium enterprises. Okay. Don't worry friends, these lecture notes will be available in the PDF link, and I will share that link in the description box side. So these are some schemes relating to the first perspective, that is accelerated and inclusive growth. And next we will move on to the second perspective, the human development. Under the human development, we are having yoga, Khelo India, autonomy to universities, institutes of eminence, focus on learning outcomes, research fellowships and scholarships. So yoga, it is a group of the physical, mental or the spiritual practices or disciplines which are originated in India, ancient India. And next, coming to the Khelo India, it is a national program for development of skills. So playing sports inculcates the team spirit, strategic and analytical thinking, leadership skills, goal setting and risk taking. So sports is an extremely important component for the overall development of our nation. Next, coming to the autonomy to universities, the University Grants Commission decides to grant autonomy to education institutions including the universities and institutes of eminence. It is a recognition scheme for the higher education institutions in India set up by the UGC in 2017 and focus on learning outcomes. So learning outcomes are the statements of what a student should know and understand after the completion of the process of learning. So the pace at which a child learns is a function of the development of his or her cognitive ability. And next, the research fellowships and the scholarships. So a research fellow is an academic research position at a university or a similar research institution, usually for academic staff or for the faculty members. So a scholarship is an award of the financial aid for a student for the further higher education. Okay, so these are some. So remember that education plays an important role. Education is the essence for the human resource development. So, for the human resource development, these are some schemes like the Yoga, Khelo India, Autonomy to Universities, Institute of Eminence, Focus on Learning Outcomes and Research Fellowships and Scholarships. And there is a flagship initiative called the Atal Innovation Mission, which focuses on both these perspectives, both accelerated and inclusive growth and the human development. So, it is a flagship initiative led by the Government of India. So, to promote the innovation and entrepreneurship, that is the Atal Innovation Mission. Okay, next we'll move on to the third perspective, that is the sustainable development. So, in that sustainable development, we have the various initiatives like the International Solar Alliance, ISA, Ujala and the Swachh Bharat Mission. So, International Solar Alliance. In this brings together a group of nations to endorse the clean energy and sustainable environment, public transport and climate. Okay, this focus on the solar power utilization. International Solar Alliance focus on solar power utilization. Next, coming to the Ujala, Unnat Jyoti by affordable LEDs for all. This replaces the Budget Lamp Yojana. This replaces the Budget Lamp Yojana. So, the project is spearheaded by the Energy Efficiency Services Limited, EESL. In non-subsidized LED lamp distribution project. And next we'll move on to the Swachh Bharat Mission. So, to eliminate the open defecation and improve the solid waste management in urban and rural areas in India, the Swachh Bharat Mission has been implemented. We have completed the three perspectives. And the fourth perspective is the equity, security and resilience. What are the important schemes in equity, security and resilience? One is the extended paid maternity leave, Jan Suraksha, extended food security, Poshan Abhiyan, Ujjwala, Gram Jyoti schemes for Divyang National Dialysis Program. For extended paid maternity leave, for example, Pradhan Mantri Matrutva Vaya Vandana Yojana. So, what is this scheme about? This is a maternity benefit running program. So, which run by the Government of India. It is a conditional cash transfer scheme for the pregnant and lactating women of 19 years of age and above for first live birth. And next one is the Jan Suraksha. So in this we can say that the Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana. So this is a insurance scheme which is available to the people between the 18 years and the 50 years of age with bank accounts. And next one is the extended food security. Food security, it is a measure of the availability of the food and individuals' ability to access it. So it ensures the adequate food supply to people, especially those who are deprived of the basic nutrition. Next is the Poshan Abhiyan. So it is a government mission to ensure the nutrition of the child, women and pregnant mothers in impoverished areas. And next one is the Ujjwala. So Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana to distribute the 50 million LPG gas connections to women of the below poverty line families. So for the BPL families, it distributes the 50 million LPG gas connections to women. And next are some of the Gram Jyoti schemes for Divyang National Dialysis Program. Okay. And here we have another scheme, the Kaushal Vikas. So what is this Kaushal Vikas? Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, which comes under the Ministry of the Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. So this Kaushal Vikas scheme focuses on three perspectives here. One is the accelerated and inclusive growth, human development, equity, security and resilience scheme. And here the Stand Up India Awas, which is similar to the Startup India but it is distinct from it. This Stand Up India offers the bank loans from the 10 lakhs to 1 crore for scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and the women, those who are establishing the new enterprises outside the farming sector. And this Stand Up India focuses on accelerated and inclusive growth and equity, security and resilience perspectives. And here when coming to the Ayushman Bharat, it provides the free health coverage for the secondary and the tertiary level to its bottom 40% of poor and vulnerable population. So this Ayushman Bharat scheme focuses on both human development and equity, security and resilience scheme. And next we will move on to the fifth perspective, that is the honesty, transparency and accountability. So here general accounts, direct benefit transfers, other legislations, anti-corruption legislations. So for general accounts, it is a financial inclusion program. So to access all affordable financial services to every person in the below poverty line families, such as opening of the zero balance accounts or opening the bank accounts is one such financial service we are offering under the Jan Dhan Financial Inclusion Program. And the direct benefit transfers means if the government has sanctioned any subsidies, those subsidy amounts will directly credited to the particular customers' bank accounts. And other legislations and anti-corruption legislations also come under the honesty, transparency and accountability. If there is any questions relating to the inclusive growth, like what are the challenges we are facing, what is the need for inclusive growth and whether India is experiencing it or not, and how we can achieve the inclusive growth, and what are the recent government initiatives, what are the recent schemes which focus on inclusive growth. If any question relating to the inclusive growth, you can simply put this recent government initiatives for inclusive growth, put this diagram. So just put the schemes under the relevant perspectives. Okay, so this diagram I have taken from the government website, so you can also easily access through it. Just for the awareness of yours, I have explained each and every scheme in detail. Okay. So here, World Economic Forum has suggested 3 practical ways in achieving the inclusive growth. So what are the 3 practical ways here? One is countries should increase the public and the private investments in their citizens' capability, and the government with both the employers and workers should upgrade the national rules and institutions relating to work, and the country should increase the public and private investment in labor-intensive economic sectors. Okay. So, inclusive growth. So, both Indian government, state government and the local government should focus on eradicating the poverty and achieving the sustainable development in order to improve the lives of the India's people. So, through innovative partnerships with international organizations, civil societies, private companies, inclusive and equitable growth can be targeted, and inclusive growth will help in the empowerment of the vulnerable and marginalized populations, improve the livelihoods and augment skill building for women. So, with this, we have completed the topic of inclusive growth. If you like my video, please share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Have a nice day.